Hello students, today we're going to go over 2.3 in survey of algebra, graphing linear equations in slope-intercept form. Let's start by going over what exactly slope-intercept form is. This form of an equation is y equals m times x plus b. M is our slope and b is our y-intercept. The y-intercept is the point 0, comma, whatever our b value is. And remember, slope is rise over run. It's what we use after we plot the y-intercept to graph the line. So we'll start in these first few problems just by identifying the slope and the y-intercept. For the first problem, we have y equals negative 2x plus 8. Remember, the slope is attached to the x. So m, our slope, is negative 2. Notice I did not put the x with it. X is not included in slope. It's just the number. Our y-intercept is the 8. As a point, it's 0, 8. For number 2, our slope is the 3. And our y-intercept is negative 9. So you do have to pay attention to that sign in front. As a point, it would be 0, negative 9. For number 3, we have y equals 2/3 x plus 2. This time our slope is the 2/3. And our y-intercept is 2. For number 4, we have y equals 3/4 x minus 5. Our slope is 3/4. Our y-intercept is the negative 5. As a point, it's 0, negative 5. For problem number 5, we have 4x plus y equals 6. This is not in slope-intercept form. So in order to be able to identify the slope and y-intercept, we first have to rearrange it. To get this in slope-intercept form, we need to isolate the y. So I'm going to move the 4x by subtracting 4x from each side. This gives me y equals, I'm going to put the negative 4x first, and then the plus 6. Now I can identify my slope, which is the negative 4, and my y-intercept, which is 6. We'll need to do the same thing for number 6. 6x plus 2y equals 10. We'll need to get that y alone first. So subtract 6x from each side. The 2y is now alone. Notice I'm not combining the 10 and the negative 6x. They are not like terms. We cannot add them together. I put the negative 6x first, and then I'm going to put the plus 10. Now I need to divide everything by 2 to get y alone. So this gives me y equals negative 3x plus 5. Now that y is alone, I can identify my slope. Remember, it's that number attached to x, so it's negative 3. And my y-intercept is the 5. Now that we've practiced identifying slope and y-intercept, we're going to use this information to graph equations of lines. So first, we're going to identify that slope and y-intercept again. Looking at this equation, y equals 3x minus 5. My y-intercept is the 0, negative 5. My slope is 3. After I identify the y-intercept and slope, I want to plot that y-intercept. So I'm going to go to my coordinate plane, and I'm going to plot a point at 0, negative 5, which means I'm going to go down 5 and put a dot. From there, I'll use my slope to plot the rest of the points. Since my slope is 3, it's a whole number. Anytime you have a whole number, you can put it over 1. The top number tells you how far up or down to go, and then the bottom is how far right to go. So it's rise over run. In this instance, we're going to rise 3 and then go to the right 1 and continue that pattern to plot multiple points. Going back to the y-intercept, you can also go backwards. You could go down 3 and back 1 to continue the line the opposite direction. You don't want to forget that in the end, after you plot your points, you do need to connect them with a straight line and arrows on both ends. Okay, for number 8, we have y equals negative 2x minus 1. We're going to follow the same process to graph this. First of all, my y-intercept is 0, negative 1, and the slope is negative 2. I'm going to plot the y-intercept by going down 1 on the y-axis and plotting a point. The slope is negative 2. I'm going to put that over 1 since it's a whole number. But negative 2 means instead of rising, I'm going to fall. So I'm going to go down 2, but I'm still going to go to the right 1. So from the y-intercept, I go down 2, right 1, and plot a point. Down 2, right 1, plot a point. Down 2, right 1, and continue that pattern. You can also go the opposite direction from the y-intercept. You can go up 2 and back 1. Then don't forget to connect these points with a straight line and arrows on either end. For number 9, we have y equals negative 3/5 x plus 4. Our y-intercept is 0, 4. Our slope is the negative 3/5. So let's begin by plotting my y-intercept at 4 on the y-axis. From that y-intercept, I'll use the slope to plot the rest of the points. Now this slope is a negative 3/5. That negative sign needs to go with the 3 or the 5, but not both. The reason we can't make it a negative 3 and a negative 5 is because a negative over a negative would equal a positive, and this slope is not positive. So I'm going to put it with the 3. If it's a negative 3, that means we fall 3, and then we'll go right 5. So from my y-intercept, I go down 3, right 5, down 3, right 5. Going back to my y-intercept, I can also go up 3 and back 5, up 3 and back 5. And we want to connect those points with a line and arrows on either end. For our last problem, we have y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Our y-intercept is 0, 2. And our slope is the 2/3. I'm going to plot a point at 2 on the y-axis for our y-intercept. My slope is a positive 2/3. So from my y-intercept, I'm going to rise 2 and then go to the right 3 and continue that pattern. So from my y-intercept, up 2, right 3, up 2, right 3. Going back to my y-intercept, I can also do the opposite. I can go down 2 and back 3. Down 2 and back 3. And we draw our line with arrows on either ends. This concludes notes for today. If you have any questions, be sure to contact your teacher.